Found out that my dad, who neglected me, isn't my biological dad. I'm 18 and my mom is 38, while my dad is 41. My parents got married when they were both in their early 20s. My mom works part-time at a local bakery, and my dad is a systems engineer. I'm the oldest of 3 siblings. Since I was a kid, I've always been treated differently, like I didn't really belong in the family. For birthdays, I never got a real celebration. The best I could hope for was a cookie from my mom, but no presents or friends over. I was never allowed to invite anyone. Christmas was even worse. The most I ever received was a cheap pair of gloves, while I had to watch my siblings unwrap brand new bikes, the latest sneakers, tablets, and all kinds of gadgets from my dad and relatives. The same thing happened on their birthdays, huge parties with friends, and relatives showering them with gifts. When the family went on vacations to places like Cape Town or Durban, I was left behind. I'd be stuck with my grandparents, who had strict rules about everything I did. And sometimes they wouldn't even watch me themselves. They'd just have someone else pick me up. When I turned 14, my mom started working part-time, and on rare occasions, she'd suggest we grab lunch together while my dad and siblings were out. But it was usually just a quick sandwich to cafe. At home, I spent most of my time in my room, either studying or reading. No matter how well I performed in school or sports, it didn't make a difference to my dad. He never seemed to care. It didn't matter if I brought home straight A's or won a medal in a school competition. My dad would just shrug and go back to whatever he was doing, usually paying attention to my younger siblings. It hurt, but by that time I had already built up a wall. I was used to it, or so I thought. Then, everything changed when I overheard something I wasn't supposed to hear. One afternoon, my parents were arguing in the living room. I was in the hallway, heading to the kitchen, when I heard my name being mentioned. I froze. I didn't want this, my dad said, his voice low and angry. I never signed up to raise someone else's kid. My heart stopped. I pressed myself against the wall, barely breathing. That was years ago, my mom snapped. You promised you'd treat him like your own. He's not my own. He never was, my dad yelled back. I didn't even know you were pregnant with someone else's child when we got married. You lied to me. I felt like the floor had just been ripped out from under me. I wasn't his. My mind was spinning. I wanted to run, scream, confront them, but I couldn't move. I didn't lie, my mom said, her voice quieter now. I didn't find out until later, but by then it was too late. Too late for what? My whole life had been a lie, and I was only finding out by accident. I slowly backed away, my legs trembling, and ran to my room. The pieces started falling into place: the neglect, the constant favoritism toward my siblings, the coldness. I wasn't my dad's biological child. That's why he had always treated me like I didn't matter. The revelation didn't stop there. A few days later, I confronted my mom when my dad wasn't home. She broke down and admitted the truth. My biological father was a man she had briefly dated in university, but when she found out she was pregnant, he had already moved overseas. My dad didn't know I wasn't his until after they were married, and by then my mom had convinced him to stay for the sake of the family. I couldn't believe it. I felt like I didn't even know who I was anymore. The man I had spent my whole life trying to impress and win over wasn't even my father, and my real dad. He didn't even know I existed. From that moment on, I decided I didn't owe my family anything. They had lied to me, neglected me, and kept this massive secret from me. I made up my mind to find my real father, and more importantly, to cut ties with the man who had never wanted me in the first place. But what happened next was something I didn't expect. When I started searching for my biological father, I found out he had passed away a year ago in a car accident. I had spent all this time trying to uncover the truth, only to find out it was too late. My real dad was gone before I even had a chance to meet him. That night, I stared at myself in the mirror, feeling more alone than ever. Everything I thought I knew was a lie. I wasn't just neglected, I didn't even belong in the family that had raised me. And now, I'd never get the chance to know the person who could have given me the love I'd been searching for my entire life. Anyways, do you think my parents did the right thing by keeping the truth from me for all these years, or was I unfairly treated? Should I have cut ties after learning my whole life was a lie? Or was it wrong to walk away from the only family I've ever known? Comment down below what you think, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe.